Fuck it. Drake video is shorter. Hold on.
Responded to Drake, and they have basically told him, "It's over, my guy." They slapped him with this 25-page rebuttal to the judge, where they essentially played the exact same game that Drake's lawyers were playing, using song lyrics both against Drake and to bolster their argument. Only in this case, they're using logic and reasoning, where Drake was using academics' YouTube streams and his own fan pages for reference.
Yeah, I want it all, that's why I strive for it. This me, you'll never hear a reply for it.
Drake. Successful. Plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss like the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own record label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. Plaintiff's
Bro, this picture of Drake is crazy though.
Misguided attempt to salve his wounds.
She gotta be CGI.
Plaintiff's complaint is utterly without merit and should be dismissed with prejudice. Basically, they came out swinging, and making the point that everyone else already has, that if Drake had been victorious in this battle of public perception, that he would not be suing anyone. In fact, he would likely be going on the Fuck Kendrick tour just like he did with Meek Mill.
Why he got two teeth? That's what I'm saying.
Encouraging Kendrick to drop a response to him for weeks, which is exactly what happened. He was even going on Instagram saying that they have nothing to drop, and that he had the red button on deck if they did, which most people now assume was his Family Matters track. And well, we all know how that ended. Essentially, UMG comes from the angle that both of these guys said hyperbolic things about each other. Obviously, Drake was called a PDF, at the Super Bowl by the way, and the Grammys. Oh god, and at the Oscars too?
Well, we're halfway through the show, which means it's time for Kendrick Lamar to come out and call Drake a pedophile.
GG's, bro.
A wife-beating lowlife who Drake says is fathering the love child of his partner and his best friend and business associate, Dave Free. Basically, UMG is saying that Drake and Kendrick, by Drake's depiction in his lawsuit, both actually committed their share of defamation using UMG as the vehicle to do so, and that this is actually an attempt to basically limit or restrict Kendrick's right to free speech and creativity, and that the implications of this lawsuit are something that Drake has signed petitions against in the recent past, using song lyrics as facts in court.
Mind, body, and soul, you need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do it.
These are all things I said when the lawsuit first reared its ugly head, that there is no logic behind his claims because he did all the same shit. For instance, in alternate reality where photos surfaced of Whitney being all beaten and battered, we might be looking at a totally different outcome. But to the victor,
Kendrick, yo, I might be at
Kendrick
just one simple. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It was just.
That's why the claims really did not stick. Next,
it was just over, bro.
Career and highlight the fact that they had a successful business partnership.
But he don't want to admit it.
Decades, making him one of the most popular.
He wants that shit just to disappear.
His business is selling the record, but everything that they said that he did, that they did for Kendrick, is something they did for him.
And then they break down the lyrics of the songs from the beef to kind of just display that both of these men would talk.
Drake knew Kendrick was talented, that's why he signed him in 2010s, that's what I'm saying.
Drake released tailor-made freestyle on Instagram. The recording uses artificial intelligence to make it sound as if the voices of deceased rap icon Tupac and rapper Snoop Dogg are rapping Drake's lyrics.
He did the Tupac thing.
Drop and give me 50.
Yeah, doing the Tupac AI thing.
Right.
You know, you talk about feeling disrespect. I mean, the whole coast, we love Tupac.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The world loved Tupac.
Drake urges Lamar in the voice of Tupac to talk about Drake liking young girls. I mean, y'all have to remember, Drake said the Epstein angle was what he expected. That he plotted for weeks and fed Kendrick this information. They also note that these rumors of him having questionable relationships with underage girls in the entertainment industry have been circling for almost a decade. They even cite here the video of him and the 17-year-old girl on stage.
Drake the only gangster to cry to his lawyers because his feelings were hurt? Nah, no cap.
Brought up Millie Bobby Brown on The Heart Part 6, and to me I've always seen that as sort of a self-report, because while Kendrick said, "Oh, you like these young girls," he never mentioned any of them by name. And in his own voice, Drake raps,
"Since like that, your tone changed a little. You're not as enthused. How are you not in the booth? It feels like you kinda removed. You try and let this shit die down. Nah, not this time.
Bro,
through. I guess you need
the city has AI shit is ass.
What the fuck is taking so long? We waiting on you."
And then obviously the nuke was dropped on his head top. Now, they really continue to harp on the back and forth of the lyrics. I saw Drake fans online saying that this was pathetic, but it's like, how do you not realize that they are just being petty and showing Drake how slippery the slope he's trying to create is? They also say that he has zero grounds for his defamation case, and I feel like even if he did, he should be suing Kendrick, not UMG, because the words said with alleged malice all came out of his mouth. They then cite several defamation lawsuit attempts that public figures filed that quickly got dismissed. For those of you that don't know, defamation is extremely
Hold on, how
hard
long is
for a
this video?
public figure
Alright,
to
hold on,
try
I'll
and
be back.
prove. And to say someone acted with true malice is almost impossible to prove. Basically, the filing says, Drake, you are a huge hypocrite and a really sore loser, and you have no justification for your claims that will hold up in court.
I study rap battles for a living.
So this is honestly going exactly like I thought it would, and it's even funnier to watch all the Drake dick riders crash out on Twitter. It has been damn near a year since this all started, and they have fought tooth and nail every single day trying to twist and turn the narrative in their favor.
Embarrassing.
Obviously, Drake's not fucking banging underage girls.
He can get any girl he wants.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, I think Drake won that beef.
Garbage,
Drake
yeah.
revived Kendrick's career.
100%.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
It's really like Kendrick did permanent damage to some of these fools. Like, they're out here hiding his albums at the store, doxing people and threatening lives over Billboard charts. This one girl, the Kendrick fan, even went out to the place that they were going to meet up to fight.
If any of y'all wanted to know, I am here. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Now, to me, both of these people should be ashamed of themselves, because they have let this internet shit go way too far. They are way too invested. Like, whether you like Drake or Kendrick, it will never be worth losing your life.
And then they get people to push a narrative, and then you become a human bot. Don't be a bot-ass nigga. You know, don't be programmed to say something that's not true because it's somebody else's agenda.
Internet shit's so lame. I don't know if I'm back.
And even when Drake dropped his most recent album on Valentine's Day, which I actually thought was a decent record, his fans couldn't even truly enjoy it because their boogeyman had and has had the #1 song in the world with Luther, and has now been beating Drake's album in sales months after GNX was released. An album with half the amount of songs, by the way, with several of his singles retaining very high placement on the charts. And this
Especially if
you're
you're pushing it off the computer. What you mean,
trying
man?
to manufacture trends for songs from his new album.
Just break down what you've been doing with Drake and Party Next Door's team for their album launch.
We did 53 million views in a week. His album went #1 in 7 days. They gave us a budget to pay out their audience, pay out clippers and UGC creators to just make content like around the album, anything related. So we're paying 70 cents per 1,000 views for UGC creators to make like videos reacting to it, lip syncing, dancing.
The internet shit? Oh,
like
yeah.
the Nokia trend.
Yeah, it's cooking right now. I can't escape it.
That is the exact same shit that he was accusing Kendrick and UMG of doing to manufacture a hit for Not Like Us. While his fans encouraged people to stream the album in their sleep, and some of them were even out here buying 30 copies to try and propel him up the charts. And that's not to even mention the accounts who have been running propaganda plays with steak ads for the last 9 months, spreading blatant lies every single day to millions of accounts. And even comparing his situation to Emmett Till, like some of y'all have lost the fucking plot. On another front though, I did want to talk about Drake's tour in Australia, because it got cancelled about halfway through, with his team stating that it was due to a scheduling conflict.
So Drake has actually just canceled the remaining dates on the Australia and New Zealand tour.
They're suppressing him in Australia too?
Yo, shut up.
UMG reached crazy.
Yo,
You
shut
get on my
up.
nerves.
Wow.
Which people were not buying at all.
Fans are pissed off because they have all these shows now that are canceled, and they're trying to figure out what is happening because the reason that was given was just scheduling conflict, and people are like, that makes no sense. What is a scheduling conflict? This is supposed to be a tour. Y'all supposed to have it together. They're like, he's not committed to his fans. They think that there's something underlying here. There's something really, really wrong. I don't know how oversight like that happens, though, on a tour this big.
Exactly.
And since he stopped the shows, he has made non-stop public appearances. So it seems that the schedule was pretty cleared up all along. This cancellation led to many people assuming the tour was not selling as well as he thought it would. And even looking at some of these videos, the crowd looks much weaker than what you would expect.
Oh, nah.
Other than that, Every night this shit basically turns into a charity case with people begging Drake for money. And of course he had to go on yet another rant on the fakeness of the entertainment industry, crying about everyone who decided to turn their back on him in what he describes as his weakest moment.
For my family, for my friends, for all my
Not a single person singing is crazy though.
all the other artists that I work with, the ones that didn't turn pussy, I mean the ones that's still real, you know.
So Drake clearly is still out to self-victimize himself, and the dude is still extremely hurt. Like at the end of the day, Drake's reputation, fame, and status almost seemed more important to him than the actual money, and now a lot of that has obviously been stripped away. I mean, just looking at that moment from the Oscars, it was the most talked about thing of the night. In terms of the petition he had filed against iHeartRadio, trying to see the payola discovery, they have come to a resolution with iHeart saying, in exchange for documents that showed iHeart did nothing wrong, Drake agreed to drop his petition. No payments were made by either one of us. Remember that Drake's stance was that iHeart had received illegal payments, aka payola, from UMG to boost the radio play of the #1 song in the world. This was settled by a judge with prejudice, meaning that Drake cannot go back and try and open this back up. And that is kind of the exact way I see this UMG lawsuit playing out. And I just really can't shake the thought, like, why did you have to do this, Drake? Like, even if he somehow wins, it sets a horrible precedent for rap, freedom of speech, and really all forms of artistic expression that are protected by that. All this guy had to do was take his L on the chin and move on. He has a big enough fan base, and he just dropped a good enough record where the conversation would have begun to move past the beef. In fact, I think people were getting a little bit fatigued of it, seeing the
What the fuck is this, Meave?
Grammys, seeing the Super Bowl. I think it felt like 100% done. It felt 100% milked. It felt like the moment had kind of passed, but it's like he just keeps extending it. He keeps turning the stove back on only to burn his own hand. But either way, I want to know what you guys think about this latest update down below. I also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some other rap beef out here needs to be covered, so I'm out. Peace.
W. Jamari Vagin.
I have a bad day, I just had a bad start. Shorty got a nice face, I know she got a bad heart. I was watching Ice Age, now I'm smoking mad cards. Driving with no license, watch me flipping this damn car. I just need a kickstart.